Now wait, stop. Before any of you just write this off and give me your answer to the question because you read the title, let's be honest. We all have our preconceived notions on John Cena. The ones that hate him will say no. The ones that love him will say yes. I believe we should all stop and treat this seriously. Let's treat this question with respect and just answer it in a legitimate fashion. Is John Cena the greatest champion of all time? As in, to have ever existed. As in, better than anybody in the Attitude Era, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, since WWE started. Now, it says greatest WWE champion, not wrestler, not promoist, not, manager or character or anything like that. Simply the greatest guy to hold the WWE championship. And you know what? To answer this question, it all depends on what really makes a champion great. What aspects of being a WWE champion do we consider, and how good do those aspects have to be for that champion to be considered one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time? And the very fact that this is a thing, that we are actually talking about this, is very interesting. The very fact that the WWE is actually going out of their way to tell us that John Cena is the greatest champion of all time. If not Michael Cole, but Michael Cole is only doing his job and saying what he's being told to say by Vince McMahon, who runs the company. So Vince McMahon wants us to believe that John Cena is the greatest champion of all time. Why is that? Is it because that he is the greatest champion of all time? Or is there some kind of underlining agenda? When you look at greats like the Ric Flairs and the Bret Harts and the Shawn Michaels and the Triple H's and, the Harley Races and the Bruno Sammartinos and the Bob Backlunds and the Hulk Hogans and the Stings and all that jazz, all of them never had to have someone say to us that this guy is the greatest champion of all time. They pretty much became great based off of what they did. Whether it's cutting a promo, having a great match, entertaining us in whatever aspect they do the best. We the fans decided that they were great. But that's not the case with John Cena. The WWE had to tell us that he was the greatest of all time. People related to the WWE, whether it's a legend like Hulk Hogan, have to tell us that John Cena is the greatest champion of all time. Which makes you wonder, and it makes us really question, if you had to tell us that he's the greatest champion of all time, is he really the greatest champion of all time? Shouldn't we know that? That's what I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to entertain the idea that he might be the greatest champion of all time in a second. But this should be a strong look into what the WWE considers to be very important. To me, the WWE, when it comes to being a wrestling product, they can care less about having strong characters or, sadly, having good matches on the show. What really matters, what is number one to the WWE, is having a good image. Being looked upon as a product that's safe, family friendly, and that everybody can watch. The image is what really, really matters. And that is why I think the WWE is going out of their way to tell the audience that John Cena, the 15-time WWE champion, is the greatest of all time because it's good for their image. Now, whether he is or not is something we will get into in a second, like I said. But the reason why I believe the WWE is doing this when I really don't think they should be is because they're so desperate to get this squeaky clean, innocent image that wrestling has not had for decades since it existed. because ultimately wrestling is a violent, bloody, cutthroat sport that's not meant to appeal to everybody. It's only meant to appeal to the adults, to the men. It's a very male-driven, testosterone soap opera. Male soap opera, if anything else. And that's all wrestling's really been. Even back in the 60s and 70s, that's wrestling for you. But now, since the WWE is trying to gravitate to a much bigger audience, they had to really, I don't want to say kill that image, but change it up to where a mass amount of people can get into it. Kids, adults, teenagers, senior folk, all that jazz. And to really put a stamp on that little image, they need someone that when you look at him, you go, man, he is squeaky clean. And that's John Cena. Look at him. He's, how old is John Cena? He's 36 or 37. He's young. He's handsome. He's good looking. He has muscles. He's rich. He has a hot girlfriend that he might marry one day. He's a good role model to the kids. He does make a wish. He doesn't have a bad bone in his body. He is literally Jesus in human form. Just saying, that's pretty much John Cena's character. He is what the average male, if not the average kid, but the average male strives to be every single day of his life. The perfect man. That's John Cena. And when you have someone like that as the face of your company, man, he appeals to kids, the girls love him, the males want to be him, the seniors respect him, and the sponsors love him. My God, we're gonna get rich, stuff like that. And see, that's what WWE looks for. And that is why they are telling us that he's the greatest champion of all time. Ultimately, that's being done for image purposes. Here's the problem, though. For the image to really have impact and substance, the guy that you say, although he may look like the greatest champion of all time, for him to truly be the greatest champion of all time, he has to have substance behind him as a WWE champion. Now, being a 15-time WWE champion can be considered an accolade, but at the same time, it can also be looked upon as not a very good thing. Because while you have won the championship 15 times, you've also lost it 14 times. Just saying. So if you're going to be a champion, I believe what really matters is the longevity of that championship run. Along with that, you also have to have beaten some big names. Credibility to that championship run. Marketability of the championship run. And also, interest. If people watch you as a champion, are you someone that fans will come and see over and over and over and over again? Have you created moments as a champion? And that type of stuff is what I believe needs to be looked into. For instance, longevity. When it comes to John Cena, I only remember him having, if not one, maybe two lengthy championship runs. Most of them have only gone like 2 months, 3 months, maybe even 4. Some of them don't even last that long. Let's be real. I don't remember anything else involving John Cena being champion where he was actually a long-standing champion that beat a lot of people. Because to me, I believe Bruno Sammartino, in my personal opinion, is a great champion. He held that thing for 8 years. Undefeated he went for 8 years as champion. Bob Backlund, 4 years. Hulk Hogan, 2 years. 2 long years as WWE champion. CM Punk went 434 days as champion. Now, to give Cena some credit, I don't want to make it seem like he doesn't stand a chance because, like I said, he could be the greatest of all time. He does have a couple of long championship runs that I believe help his case very well. I think the reign in 2007 went about 380 days. That's pretty good. Now, if you want to say he's a great champion because of that, sure. But the greatest of all time, you really can't. Because clearly, people have done it better and longer than him. 8 years, 4 years, 2 years, 434 days. So I can't consider Cena to be the greatest of all time in terms of longevity. And even if you want to argue, what about the amount of champions? You still can't, because Ric Flair beats him by 16. Right now he does. If Cena by the end of this year becomes a 17-time champion, then we can talk. But right now he doesn't, so we still shouldn't be saying this. Alright, let's talk about moments. What moments have John Cena had as champion, besides him first winning it at WrestleMania 21? Which is a moment. You had the night when Edge cashed in the briefcase on him. That was the first time a Money in the Bank winner actually did that to a champion, so let's give him that. Let's give him WrestleMania 22, because that was like the first night the audience actually turned on Cena. Although it's been happening way before then, that was like the efficient night that the actual audience turned on Cena. The One Night Stand show with RVD. Let's give him Unforgiven, the TLC match with Edge. Let's give him... Wow, 2007 is completely blank. Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23, sure. That's all I got. Then he lost it, and then 2008 was a blur. I don't remember 2008. Didn't he have a match against Chris Jericho? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got the championship back. Then lost it. 2000... I believe 2009, he had the... What did he do in 2009? Well, he won it at WrestleMania 25. I know that for sure. Do you see the problem? All these blanks I'm drawing with Cena. Too many blanks. For a guy that's won the championship 15 times, I don't remember more than half of his championship wins, let alone his reigns. I don't think that's a good thing, because that lets me know, as a 15-time champion, he really isn't creating a lot of moments. Now, if you want to go to, the Nexus angle when he was champion, if you want to go to CM Punk in 2011, that's one. And of course, the 2013-2012-ish feud with The Rock, that's one too. So he's had his share of moments, but again, for a 15-time champion, and I don't remember over half your reigns, I don't think that's necessarily a good case to call him the greatest champion of all time. The people he's beaten. Has he beaten a lot of top quality superstars? Well, he has beaten The Rock. He has beaten Shawn Michaels. He has beaten Ric Flair. He has beaten Triple H. He's beaten CM Punk. Has he? No, he hasn't beaten him for the WWE Championship. He's beaten him in a match, but not for the WWE Championship. Let's see. He's beaten Batista, Edge, Big Show. He hasn't beaten Taker. He hasn't beaten Austin, of course, or Hulk Hogan, or, other people like, well, I can't say Andre because that's past his time. I can't do that to him. But he hasn't really beaten a lot of top quality people as champion. Now, guys, I know he's beaten them when he was not champion. Like, he's beaten Lesnar. He's beaten others when he was not champion. But I'm talking as a WWE champion. Who has he beaten for that championship? Not a lot of people. Just saying. Chris Jericho was one. I'll give him Chris Jericho. So, that's a pretty nifty list, but sorry, Austin has beaten people like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, The Undertaker, Kane, etc., etc., etc. Rock, same thing. He beat The Big Show. He beat The Undertaker. He beat Kurt Angle. He beat Triple H. He beat Mankind. He's beaten Eddie Guerrero. He's beaten Ric Flair. He's beaten a lot of people as champion. Hulk Hogan, oh my god. Hogan has beaten Andre the Giant, Randy Savage. He's beaten the Iron Sheik. He's beaten Paul Orndorff. He's beaten, whoa, so many people. And don't get me started on Bruno Sammartino or The Undertaker. Good lord. So, you know what? Cena has beaten enough people to be considered, once again, a great champion. But the greatest of all time, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. And massive appeal. Let's not even go there. John Cena is controversial. No, it pretty much means that a majority of the audience does not like Cena. He has his fan base, but not a lot of people like Cena. And if you really want to get technical with it, when Austin was champion, when The Rock was champion in the Attitude Era, 2000s, around, if I'm not mistaken, 7, 8, maybe even 9 million people were watching. Nowadays, with Cena being champion, only 4 million are watching. So, in terms of massive appeal, he's still not the greatest champion out there. Just saying. And honestly, when Brock Lesnar wins it at SummerSlam, if he wins it at SummerSlam, I guarantee you more people will watch with Lesnar as champion than they will as John Cena as champion. That lets you know that he can't be the greatest champion of all time. So many aspects that hurt John Cena's case, that the only aspect that really helps him is his image. And because that is all the WWE cares about, that of course is the most important aspect. But in terms of being for real, in terms of being a legitimate greatest of all time champion, you need more than just image. You need the other aspects. And I can't really say John Cena covers all that. Even if you want to go by match quality alone, he's had his share of awesome matches. But again, Austin has had more. Rock has had more. Taker has had so many more as champion. Hogan has had more. Hogan has had legendary matches. Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, for Christ's sake. I can't say it. I'm sorry, there is no real category that John Cena excels in other than the perfect image of a champion. And I'm sorry, that's not enough for me. So, to bring this to a closing, I have to believe that John Cena, in my personal opinion, is not the greatest champion of all time. And WWE, you guys need to stop saying that. I get it. You want to position John Cena to being the greatest of all time. Make no mistake about it. WWE is going to do everything in their power to position John Cena to where they can say this guy is the absolute best to ever enter the sport. But the sad part is, the more they do that, the more they hurt his case for actually being that. Because they won't let it happen naturally. They have to tell the audience it. You shouldn't have to tell the audience that someone is great. We should know that he's great. And if you have to tell your audience that John Cena is great, if you have to rewrite history to tell people that John Cena is great, that ultimately says he's not great to begin with. Now, if you want to argue that John Cena is one of the greats, sure, you have a nut to actually say that. But you can't argue that he is the greatest. And that is my opinion. Thank you for watching. Share your thoughts down below about this subject. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to see and read your thoughts down below in the comment section. And hear it if you do a video on it. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, this is not a shot at John Cena. I am just making a legitimate case in terms of this subject. And I believe John Cena is not the greatest champion of all time. Period. Thank you for watching. Your boy, the Alyx, signing off. Take it easy. Peace.